Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be previewing the NFC Divisional matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But before we get into that, Ryan and I, we want to tell you about a little goal that we have of getting to 400 subscribers by Super Bowl weekend. That is just under a month away. And if you have not already, subscribing would help us out reach that goal, and we would be greatly appreciative. So smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment on this video. Let us know who you think is going to win and your overall thoughts on Ryan and my takes on the game. Share this with your Rams and Buccaneers friends and fans. And Ryan, let's get into it. Another rematch game happened here in the playoffs. And this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited for all of the divisional matchup games. I think this is probably, in recent memory, one of the more open NFL playoffs that I can remember off the top of my head, because any one of these 8 teams, I think, has a legitimate shot of winning. And especially these two teams here, the former Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then also Matt Stafford and the LA Rams. Matt Stafford just winning his first ever playoff game, which is crazy to think about, considering the fact that I don't want to say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer just with his career in Detroit, but for sure Hall of Famer. And then now with him moving to the Rams, getting that first playoff game, monkey off the back. What do you think the Rams have to do coming in as 3-point underdogs to come up with the upset here?
To me, the Rams have to improve their pass defense. They were, at the end of the season, were the 22nd ranked pass defense. So not good, especially against Tampa Bay, who's going to try and air out the ball. I know Tom Brady is throwing to Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski pretty much exclusively, but they still have some pretty good pieces in Tyler Johnson, Giovanni Bernard coming out of the backfield, Scotty Miller, and some of these other guys. So definitely need to be on their A game on pass defense. And I think for me, the battle in this pass game starts up front. If they let Tom Brady sit in the pocket for more than 3 seconds, I mean, he'll just crucify this defense. You have to get after Tom Brady. Aaron Donald, I think, is the closest thing we've seen to a Brady cheat code in the way he gets pressure up the middle. And he played a big role in the first game that they played. So I think that's the way that they have to go, is press man coverage, like aggressive pass defense, and trying to get after Tom Brady, because they don't have the receivers that they did in that first matchup. So I think definitely improving this pass D, getting after Tom Brady, and hitting him is the way to go. On the flip side, I have a feeling that this game is going to turn into a shootout. So Matt Stafford has to be on his A game. What do you think this Rams offense has to do to be able to really keep up with this Tampa Bay offense?
Well, I agree with you. I think right now the over-under is at 48.5, and I think I'm going to hit that over hard. Because the score of the last game was 34-24, and there was one quarter where there's 27 points scored by both teams. I think that is easily doable, again, to have a quarter like that against these two teams. So on the flip side, they're going to have to try and be as balanced as they can. That Tampa Bay front seven, particularly that front line, is an absolute beast, and we have seen the Rams struggle to run the ball at times, and not really maybe struggle, but they just don't prioritize it as much. It might become a little bit one-dimensional in the pass game. So try and have some effective runs, because I think that they are just going to have a field day passing the ball, similar to the Rams, as you mentioned. This Tampa Bay secondary just is weak, allows a lot of passing yards, and just all in all, just had a poor season just because they've been so injured. And
they are starting to get healthier.
They are starting to get healthier, so we'll add that. But I still think, though, Cooper Kupp's going to have a day. I think Odell Beckham's probably going to score another touchdown. Tyler Higbee is a solid, above average, a tight end option for them. And you still have Van Jefferson, who's really kind of stepped up ever since Robert Woods has come down. Odell Beckham has kind of taken over that number 2 receiver role, but Van Jefferson's a solid guy. One of the biggest
things, good deep threat.
Very good deep threat, yeah. One of the things, as you mentioned, with Tampa Bay that they have experienced, but still have and still makes them a threat and effective, something that the Rams, that I haven't seen nearly as much from them, is the Rams at that skill, at the skill position, don't have nearly as much depth. I mean, let's look and see all who Tampa Bay has lost. Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette didn't play in the last game. He's been hurt.
He will be back. That's what
He
it
will be
says.
back. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good for them. But then Antonio Brown is gone, and then who is Ronald Jones, their other kind of star
Yeah.
running back, had has been hurt, didn't play in this last week. Yet they're still able. I mean, they have all these pieces like Giovanni Bernard, as you said. Tyler Johnson has stepped up. You can tell he's a big drop off from Chris Godwin, but he's still
Yeah.
a step up. Scotty Miller has done that. Cameron Braid is still a great option at tight end for him to throw to. If
Mm-hmm.
someone like that goes down for the Rams, though, it really seems like it's going to limit their options. They don't have that
Yeah.
depth. They do have that at the running back position now with Cam Akers coming back and Sony Michel's and Darrell Henderson, so that's a solid running back trio. But at the receivers, let's say if Odell Beckham goes down hurt, then who is going to fill that spot? And hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm just saying hypothetically. We've still seen so many great games from these Tampa Bay receivers because they're able to game plan for all these guys and go from there. The one thing, though, I will say the key factor, and this is going to be the X factor for me, Tampa Bay, two of their offensive linemen got hurt in the last game, Ryan Jansen and Tristan Wirfs. Both came back and played, and then Tristan Wirfs eventually then came out just to kind of pull him out because he didn't need to play because he was banged up, but Ryan Jansen banged up and still play the rest of the game, but see how he is affected. If they are hurt and they are not at 100%, or if they get further hurt in this game, which I hope they don't, as they said, it's going to be really interesting how Tampa Bay combats this and how Aaron Donald and that defensive front can get after Tom Brady because that has always been something that Tom Brady has had is a strong, solid front line to protect him and give him time to do his reads and to get the ball out of the pocket as quickly as possible. So I think that's going to be a huge factor. It's going to be a huge factor to see how they bounce back.
Yeah, no, definitely. From what I remember, Ryan Jensen's injury was a lot less significant than Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs was struggling to stand up and had to be helped off the field by his teammates on his last rep. So that's a big loss, especially because not only now, since the trade deadline when the Rams acquired Von Miller, not only have to block Aaron Donald, but you have to block Von Miller as well. So that's just something to definitely keep an eye on. I guess that's kind of a good transition into our final picks. So who do you think is going to come out on top of this game? It's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be high scoring, but who do you think is going to pull it out in the end?
So I do think it's going to be high scoring. I do think it's going to come down to the wire. I think it is going to be a 35-31 Rams upset victory. I think I'm getting similar feelings of the Rams this year as Tampa Bay last year. New team, new transition. Everyone's still getting to know each other in this first half of the year. In this second half of the season, the Rams have really turned it on. They have been an extremely tough team to beat. Matt Stafford has been having a solid season. And I also think to combat that too, I think Tampa Bay, they have just lost too many good pieces. Well, to see how Leonard Fournette bounces back, losing Chris Godwin was a huge loss for that team. Guys have stepped up, but it's just still not the same production or threat as a Chris Godwin would be. And also then that offensive line, they're banged up. We'll have to see how they react. And I think that Matt Stafford and this team, he has been in such a rhythm with Cooper Kupp. Him and Odell Beckham have hit it off. Then now you have to worry about Tyler Higbee over the middle. They're all just going to have another field day game, I think, against this Tampa Bay secondary. And I think that they're going to win a close one, 35-31. Tom Brady's going to throw a pick on the drive to Jalen Ramsey to end the game.
Wow, that's very specific.
Very specific.
So I'm going to go against you. I think Tampa Bay, with the exception of that Saints game, Tampa Bay has been nearly unstoppable at home. I think they're averaging over like 32 points a game at home. They're now 9-1 at home. So for me, I think it's going to be a really tough environment for Los Angeles to come in there and win. The city of Tampa is very much behind this team. That's a hostile atmosphere for any team that's going to go in there, especially in the playoffs. I think Tom Brady is elevating the play of that offense because he's playing really well. I'm 90% sure he's the MVP this year. I don't really see anybody else that would take it from him. And I just think he is going to get this team back to the NFC Championship game. We'll have to see from there. But I really like the Buccaneers' chances in this one. I think they match up pretty well, and I know that they're a little banged up, but I think even a Chris Godwinless Buccaneers offense
Mm-hmm.
is still better than that Rams defense. And so I'm gonna say 37-34. I think the Buccaneers are gonna win on a last second field goal.
All right, I like it. I like
So
it. That's two. That's two in the divisional round that we disagree on. Actually, no, three.
okay.
Three.
Okay.
Did you say Cincinnati's going to win over Tennessee?
Uh
Trying to
I don't
remember.
remember. I don't
Oh, I
remember. We'll
guess
have to
I'll
go
go
back
back
and look.
and go back and watch the video
Yeah.
to see who Ryan picked
Yeah.
in that game. But yeah,
I
it's
think
going
all
to be
these
fun.
games are going to be. I think all these games are going to be really close. I mean, you get 3 points, I think, for being at home, but I think like this game is pretty much a pick 'em.
Yeah,
Like
I
it.
think so as well. I
So,
would say hit that over 48.5 points as of
oh
right
yeah,
now. Hit
oh
that over.
yeah,
I might put more money into my account and hit that over.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Because if this turns into a defensive battle, I mean that would be
well, that's a
insane to me.
28-21 victory. That's 49 points.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
they're gonna kill that.
I will say this is Wednesday, and I got that from ESPN. So some
Yeah,
might vary, but that to me that
yeah.
seems like easy money. 28-21 seems extremely
Easy.
feasible with how both
Yeah,
these offenses have been clicking.
yeah.
So
So I'm excited for this one. I think that's gonna wrap up this episode of the Tracy Take. Uh, If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on which brother you think is right. And I guess we'll find out on Sunday. So please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Tyler and I are trying to hit 400 subscribers by Super Bowl weekend. So if you could help us reach that goal, we would be very appreciative. But other than that, we'll see you next time.